Hello everyone, I'm Tom Nasser, the Automation Alchemist, and today I'm going to help you decide what to automate. Any app with an API can be automated with no-code tools like Zapier and Make, so your options are virtually unlimited. It's easy to get paralyzed by choice, so I've put together a quick list of 3 great starting points to help you launch your automation projects. If you'd like more automation tips and deep dives every week, be sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. Let's get started. If you're trying to choose a business process that's suited to automation, you want to pick a workflow that's already clearly defined, repeatable, and consistent. If your process is clearly defined, you should already know every step that's involved in the process from beginning to end. Then you can configure every step as needed in your automation without having to rely on guesswork or trial and error. If you automate a process that's still vaguely defined, you may be codifying an ineffective solution that will hamper your productivity instead of boosting it. In addition to being well defined, it should be a process that repeats on a regular basis. Look for processes that you're conducting every day, every week, or every month. Even annual processes may be worth automating if it requires a lot of tedious tasks to complete. But you'll see the most dramatic results from automating a process that you conduct frequently. Things like creating documents for meetings, onboarding new clients, or responding to inbound leads are all great processes to automate. Finally, you should look for processes that are consistent. In other words, you should automate processes that happen pretty much the same way every time. For instance, when you onboard a new client, each one may have a slightly different project, but you'll still probably follow a similar path every time. You'll create a shared folder, shared documents, a Slack channel, maybe even make a project template in your task manager, and generate some other resources. You can configure your automation to handle a few different project types to produce everything you need to get started with each client. Consistent processes like this are much easier to automate and are a great place to start. If you have a consistent, reliable process that you've already defined in detail, then that's a great candidate for automation. If evaluating your processes isn't revealing any clear opportunities for workflow automation, you may want to take a different approach and think about helping a single individual at your company first. Many companies have talented employees shouldering a huge workload, and one effective approach to automation is to start by helping out an overworked employee first. Build workflow automations that help make their jobs easier. In particular, you should focus on automating their robotic tasks. Anything that amounts to copying and pasting data or making documents from a template. By automating those tasks, you'll let your rockstar employees focus on more creative, analytical, strategic, and thoughtful work. You'll amplify their output while simultaneously making their jobs less stressful. Once you establish some automations for one person, you can use them as a foundation for supporting an entire department or even the whole organization. If you're not able to find any processes or people that you can kick off your automations with, you may want to think about data instead. What data and resources do you and your team rely on to do your work? These could be customer databases, pitch decks, an employee directory, any kind of data or asset that you use and refer to on a regular basis. You can get started with automation by automating the ways you create your essential data. With automation, you can ensure that you capture every important piece of information as it is created. You can also make sure that it's stored consistently and correctly, and that it's easy to update as needed. You can create automations that funnel your data from several sources into a single database or document, or establish a single approved method for creating and updating data in the first place, like filling out a form or using one specific app. Automating your data will create reliable and accessible sources of truth. It will make it easier for everyone to do their jobs and will reduce errors across the board. Workflow automation can be a daunting prospect. You can automate nearly any workflow in any software, so it's hard to know where to start. Our recommendation is to focus on well-defined processes, employees that could use a hand, or on key databases that act as your source of truth. Whichever you choose, adopting workflow automation will give you and your team much more time for the work that matters. If you've enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more automation tips every week. If you'd like to learn more about no-code and low-code automation, follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, or Facebook, and you can find all of our content on our website at xray.tech. You can check all those links in the description down below, and as always, don't forget, keep the flow.